Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all okay. Nice blue skies over here today, although a little chilly. I feel like I always have to sort of explain the weather. It's nice to know though, isn't it? Because we're all in different parts of the country and some of us are not in the UK. And it's nice to get a little bit of an idea as to what we're doing and where we are. So what do I have today? Regular white tile. And I've inked it up a little bit. I've used the colour clouds. It's a pink one and a teal one. I can't remember the names of them. But you know what? You can colour it with anything. It doesn't matter. You can leave it completely blank if you want to. And I'm going to use a round stencil today. You don't have to. If you haven't got anything, please don't worry about it. You can do this freestyle. It's fine. Or have a look around if you've got anything round that you can work with. But I'm using the basic stencil. I'm going to use this shape just to get me started. As I say, it's only going to be nice and light because you might not see the whole sort of shape at the end, okay? So I'm just going to draw in the inner one. Okay, so I've got something to work to. It's not perfect in the middle, that doesn't really matter. I'm going to be focusing mostly on this here. So let's have a little look at this. What I'd like to do is imagine, give yourself an idea, centre-ish. Okay, little dot. And put myself a little bubble in there, okay? Now see, notice it's turned from circle to bubble because we're sketching this freehand, okay? And then what I want to do here, I want to have 3 more shapes. So if I put, imagine, see a line there and a line there, you see? So I've got sort of 3 sections. And then if I do that way around, giving myself a little indicator as to where my lines are going to go. It always helps, you know, if you've got something to work to when you're trying to draw something like this. Okay, and then I can come in, see, and I can draw those lines in. So it's almost like using a circle frame stencil and putting the dots in, or using those little lines and then joining it together. And again, don't worry too much about it if it's a little bit off. It's just a construction. I thought we'd not done circular shapes for ages, so I thought we'd put one in today, see how you get on with it. See there, I can come in, I can shape that just a little better maybe there. And just getting the rubber out. Okay. I actually use my travel set, and I've actually made sure that I've got a piece of my elastic. Let me just show you this. Look, there's my travel set. And I've got a piece of elastic that's wider than the Tortillon, so that's where my rubber sits. So I don't lose it. So yeah, it's a real handy thing to have. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 if we counted the middle one as well. And what I want to do is separate the outer frames, not the middle, just the outer. So I've got it in half, so top and bottom. Right, same again, look. So top and bottom, side and side, first lines. And then looking at the shape I've got here, I'm going to split it into 3 sections, which is 2 lines. So if I do it here, look, see, imagine 3, and then I can come in, 1 there, look, or 1 there. So I can cross that over and do there and there. And I could do the same here, look. So look. Let's do those 2 first, so I know I'm happy with them. And then I'll cross there, across there. So I've got my space split up mostly. Just going to remove that little one in the middle. Okay, so let's go in with pen. And first thing I want to do is focus on this little bit in the middle here. Let's just go in a little bit. There we go. I'm putting myself a row of bubbles. So I'm sort of on the line. I'm going to sort of really define that shape in the middle there. Putting in there bubbles. So they're all joining, not too big. Sort of keep it going. And that will give us a really good starting point. Okay. go, all right? Not too worried about that, it's fine. So looking at each section now as we go around here, I want to imagine where the middle is, and I'm going to put myself a line. First that way, and then that way. I always find it better to do it this way and put that line in first, and then that's going to give me a sort of a better, no, not a better curve, but it's going to be more consistent as I work around the piece, because we're going to get something similar as I turn it round. And that one. Okay. And then rather than do it this way, this feels a bit weird for me, so I'm going to bring it in that way. So I'm going from the bottom outwards kind of thing. Make it comfortable for you, you know. You want to try and repeat the shape. So you draw it how it suits you, not how you see me doing it. Okay. And then that one. Okay. So going on the inside of this, now I'm going to put quite a close shape in there, like that. And then I want to put another one in the middle and fill that with ink. So that's where I'm heading. So again, I'm going to find it easier to do that line first. That line first. So again, if you prefer to do each one separately, that's fine. Or if you want to go around and do it this way. Okay. And then same again. I'm going to come this side and do this shape. And along we go. Kind of keeping it going. Let's see. And so then we've got this little one to put in. So even if you can't fit like a triangular shape in there, you can still put a line in. You just want a little bit of a feature in there. So you see how it just gives it that little bit of interest in there. So it's all been very quiet here this morning now Dobby's back. He's not been doing any work this morning. Yeah, he's a bit shattered. Okay, so let's have a look now. We've got these points to work to, and we want to be working on this next row. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to take a line from here to here, but as a curve, like that. And then one on the top. You don't want these too wide, keep it quite narrow. And then this way to there. Okay. So if we follow the next one, so from the point here, and then from the top or the point again, whichever works for you. Okay. So if I keep doing that, and again you might find that it's easier to do it all this way first. You see? And then come back and do all of that way. Whatever works. I find sometimes if you're talking a bit and you don't always focus, you can find that you end up drawing something where you didn't want to. So if you're not sure, it's always best to draw it as you go rather than leave these gaps. But you can see that, you know, once you get into the mode, it's all one way. And then let's come back and do the other. And that one. Sort of filling in as you go there. And you sort of get an idea for the shape size as well. So we're getting it doesn't have to be completely consistent, but you're getting an idea of it. Alright, have a little look at that. That's where we're at so far. Okay. So now we've got these little shapes in the middle. And again, what I'd like to do is put a shape inside there. So you can use those lines to help you. See, I can just go to that line, to that one. It gives you a little bit of an assistance when you're putting your shapes in. Again, depending on the size. Put one in as best you can. And next one. See, now this time I'm doing all sides and then moving on, because there's a few more, 2 more sides to do, so I'm keeping it in the flow and following it round as I go. See, let's do that one, keeping it quite close if we can, because I want to really sort of work my way in there and get these shapes in. Now if you find that your circle to start with was a bit small, or you're struggling a little bit with these particular shapes because they're small, why not draw this on a macro tile so you've got something bigger to work to, and then that will just give you a little bit of an easier ride when it comes to adding little bits and pieces. Okay, so let's have a look at these shapes here. And what I do is I'm going to put a couple of lines either side. Lines either side. And there. See, I'm doing it all this way first, because what I'm doing is turning my tile, get another one in that, but not particularly moving my hand so much. So it just sort of makes life a bit easier to work it around that way. Okay, just bits at a time as we go, and then I'm going to work on the other. So same sort of thing, that one and that one and that one. You could actually do one of these bigger. You could use the whole circle frame and keep the sort of the pattern going, and draw a whole mandala using these shapes. That'd look really good. Add a little bit of colour in places, and of course put the pencil and tortillon in another. Okay, there we go with that bit. So far so good. So let's move into the next little bit here. Now I've got like a V shape here. So what I want to do is, in each one, not at the top here, but sort of think halfway down, I want to put myself 2 lines. So you see, I'm starting with the outer one and then the inner one, but it doesn't matter, I suppose. So you imagine about halfway. I'm going to put these little lines in. See, about halfway. And there. Round we go. Each one. Little line. Okay. I'm going to fill that in with ink. It's that sort of little stripe we've got there. Now I'm happy with where it is. And into that one. And sort of working it along. And keeping it going. It's amazing how that little bit of ink makes a difference. Let's have a little look at that. There you go. See, that's not too long at all to do, isn't it? It's quite nice to sort of work on. So okay, let's have a look at the next bit then. What I want to do, so from the middle here, where I've got, see my section, I'm going to come up and put one of those shapes in. And turn it to the next one. One of those shapes. And the next one. And those shapes. Next. Okay. And the next. And I'm going to work my way around. And again, notice I'm moving my tile. Each time making sure that this is vertical, sort of mostly in line with my body, and I find that that's the easiest way to actually draw something in line. It's just a little bit more natural. Now, trying to draw it and get the angles right all the way around. Okay. So as we did those two little lines before, I'm going to put the two little lines in. And then this one, you see both sides, top and bottom. A couple of lines. It's kind of, following your own little consistency rules. Are you doing the top and the bottom, or the bottom and the top? Or are you going all the way around the top first, all the way around the bottom next? You get your own little ways of working, I think. Okay. So let's go in a little bit more now, because we've got the space around these shapes that we want to work on. So let's take just this one. See, I've still got my pencil lines there and there. And what I want to do is I want to come up from here, and I'm going to come around. Okay, watch. So I'm coming up, and then I'm touching that line, and I'm coming around and forming a curl. And then I'm going to come back. So let's do the next one. Up and around, forming the curl, and back. So I'm going to do that on all of these sides. Around, following the shape, around. Of course, don't rush these. Do your curl first and then come back. Curl first and then come back. Now notice as I'm doing these, it's almost coming, it's like at the 9 o'clock point, isn't it? And then I'm going from that point. I'm not trying to sort of go straight. I'm curving it. Okay, along, curl, and back in. Along, curl, and back in. Okay, sometimes it'll take a little bit of practice for this one. So if you feel you need to do it in pencil first, so always that curve at the end. You don't want it to be straight. You want to curve it. See? So I've got them all the way around. So, just because we can, I'm going to do the same on the other side. Curl it and back. All the way around again, see? And then curve it. All around. And of course, you're going to do lots of these. So, one a little bit different than the other. You're not really going to notice it. It's going to be mixed in with everything else. So don't worry about it. Okay, it's just one bit of everything else. And the next one. And the next one. And you get into that kind of a flow with it. And before you know it, you're almost back where you started. And into this one. Okay. So all the way around. So I want to look at this little space in between these now. And I'm going to put in 1, 2, 3. Notice that one's a little bit bigger than that one. So again, I'm going to work on the same side, putting 1, 2, 3 bubbles in. All the way around. Okay, think 3s. Of course, if your space is wider or you're using a bigger tile, then it might be more. And again, if you think, I can get 3 in one and 4 in another. That's fine. I'm just sort of gauging it as I go around, so I've got the same amount in. But nobody's going to count your bubbles, so it's fine. Okay, and then when I've done all that way, I'm going to do that way. So again, look, 3 in. See, I could possibly get 4 in there, but I'm going to stick with my 3s. Same with this one. Alright, so they're all going to vary slightly, but that doesn't matter. And a look. And keep it going. All the way around. And that one. And before you know it, you're almost back to where you started. Okay, let's have a little look at what we've done so far. Look at that. Yeah. Okay, so we've got this shape in here that we want to have a look at. And it's kind of nice, I think. We've got quite a lot of circles and bubbles that we bring some lines in. So whenever you're filling something with lines, start in the middle. And it's going to give you a sort of a similar base point. And then work onto each side. Now it doesn't matter if you've got a different amount of lines in each one, or even from side to side if the lines are a different amount. It's that middle one that's going to make all the difference, and that's the one that changes it up, so it feels that it's more coherent, or we've got the same thing going on. And again, nobody's going to count your lines. And the next one. You see, I'm not too worried about that. As long as I'm starting in the middle for each one, it works just fine. To that one. And that one. Okay, how lovely is that, just to even start with? Okay, so looking at my shape then, what I want to do on the outside is I don't want to keep this serious line, so I'm going to come around and I'm going to follow the shape. See, keep it quite close if you can, and I'm not going really sharp and pointy. I'm sort of curving it round, see, as I go around. Oh, thank you, Leslie.
Hi guys.
I noticed Dobby's not up yet then.
No, he says he's got jet lag.
Oh, God.
That is his excuse.
I know, he's been back too long to have jet
He's
lag.
asleep out here.
Good grief. But he's still got his hat on.
Yeah, he has. He won't take it off.
No, he's complaining he's cold.
Yeah, so he's got his duffel coat on still. He won't take that off.
Goodness me, he's like a spoilt child.
He's even got his gloves on.
Oh no. What do you do with them? Just what do you do with them? Okay. So we're getting a different sort of shape around the outside here. Let's have a little look at that. There you are. Look at that. Okay. So let's put some bubbles round. And again, follow the shape. Don't want your bubbles to be too big. Let's work them round. Just going with the flow as to what you've got. Again, your shape's going to be a little bit different to mine because, of course, they're all got slightly different shapes inside, so that's fine. This is just going to sort of add a little bit to it. See how it works its way around. Just kind of go with it. We've not done a sort of a bubble border for ages, have we? This is kind of like a rosette kind of thing, isn't it? It's got that kind of vibe to it. And I suppose you could do something similar with different shapes as well. It doesn't have to be a circle that you start with. So it's nice to have that round consistency, I think. Makes a difference. And we'll have a look at this when we've done it and see what we think. It's almost like you want to just keep going with it. It's lovely, wouldn't it, as a large piece? And or maybe even a cabochon in the middle or something. That'd look kind of nice. So as we work our way around, almost there. Let's have a little look. Okay, let's move out a little bit. You know, sorry, it doesn't want to move out. There you go. All right. So I'm not going to do much more to it in a sense. I'm not going to put too much detail around here. I'm just going to sort of add a few little leafy kind of shapes. So let's put in a little line. I'm going to zoom back in so you can see. Okay, it looks like a little horn, doesn't it? And then let's go around. And then around. Okay. And then let's have another here. So that can go sort of behind. And then let's have one that's even sort of just peeking out there. So it looks like it's going under. Let's add a couple down here as well. So see, look, a line. And then along. And let's have another one sort of going underneath there, see? They crisscross over and under each other. Well then, now the thing is here, you see I've got 3 in that corner and 3 in that corner. So let's have a little look at that. We don't want that. So I'm going to bring one out just at the bottom end there. Okay, maybe just do a little one there. So we don't want it to be exactly the same all the way around. But of course, we tend to have more space in the corners, so we can spread out a little more. But don't try and copy what you've already done. And I think the nice thing to do as well is sort of put them around first, and then if you want to add more, you can. But if you've put loads in one corner, you've sort of got to repeat it all the way around. So spread them out first and add a few. And then if you think you want more, you can go back in and add them. All right, see, all sort of slightly different heights. And let's have that one going up there. Just maybe just a little one there. And that's probably enough actually, because the main thing is that centerpiece. Just want a few working our way around. So first things first then, I am going to put some colour in the middle here. And because I've got 2 colours here, it sort of stands to reason that it'd be nice to have 2 colours there as well. So tell you what would be nice, if Leslie was listening and she's got my coloured pencil over there, because I've not got a full set here. I've got white, they're all over the place. Just like clockwork.
There you go.
There we go. There we are. Got my set.
I was watching, but I was listening.
Yeah. So here we go. So I've got pink. So this is my light rose. And then here I've got my, let's have a look, my summer sky. And I've got a white. So, you know, let's use those and see what's going to happen. I think first things first, because I'm using 2 colours and they're not normally something that would blend, I'm going to sort of mix, I'm going to put a little bit of white in the middle. So I'm going to have blue this side, pink that side. Just because then it's a bit of a boundary, a bit of a barrier. I'm bringing my pink in. Now you see immediately I've got colour here, but when I get to here it sort of starts to seriously pale because it's going over that white. And that's really what I want it to do. So I'm just going to go over a couple of, a couple of layers. I'm not pressing on or anything. A couple of layers. And then let's bring that white back in and add some over the top, see, sort of blend it in a little bit. And then on this side, I'm going to bring in that blue. And again, I'm going to have that resistance when I meet that white in the middle. So again, just going to keep sort of swirling it round, building it up without worrying about pressing on or anything like that. And then bring that white in. And over the top of it. See, I'm not going over the top of all of it, but just in the middle area. So let's do another layer of this pink. So you're just easing off the pressure over that white. Another layer of the blue. And then I'm going to come back in with that white, just sort of down that middle area. Okay, so just because we've got the colours in there, I'm going to bring my mid-rose in, so it's a darker pinky colour, and I want to add a little bit of it to the side, just that bottom edge there, see? And then bring that light rose back over the top. Just gives it a little bit more strength there. And then of course with the blues, I'm going to bring in, I do love this colour, my mid sea blue, and add a little bit more to that edge. And then of course bring that summer sky back in and add that in. Okay, let's have a little look at that. See, so I've got the two colours that match what I've done there. That's nice. So I'm going to come back to my regular pencil, and first things first is let's put some around this shape here. So I'm not going over the bubbles, going around the edge of that. Okay, and then we've got to sort of pick a side really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, let's go in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. There's so many ways you could shape this, but I'm going to go into that V shape there. See, just kind of getting into it. So you've got to make sure that your pencil's sharp for that, because you want to get in there. And don't worry about trying to be too neat, you just want a little bit in. Okay, and then here I'm going to go the bottom of those all the way around. So you get into a bit of a routine with them. And then same at the top. So it's kind of going over the lines we've already put there. Like we're just there to help reinforce the darkness in those spaces. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to go around all of this shape. Okay. So I'm not going to sort of shade everything exactly here. I'm going to put these little bits in. So all around the frame there. Let's see how that works. Okay. That's that bit done. And then I'm going to come around the edge, but inside the bubbles. Okay, so take you a little bit longer because you've got to sort of work your way around those odd shapes we've created. And putting those in. And sort of working it round. Again, not trying to colour it in, just sort of adding the pencil really. Wanting to get that done. Okay, and I'm not going to overdo it on the leaves, just want a little line on there. It doesn't matter if they're on different sides, anything like that. I just want a little bit of pencil in, because of course the Tortillon's going to do all the work for that bit. So, bringing the tortillon in, and of course, a quick sip of tea Leslie's made me. So here we go, starting in the middle there. I'm going to very gently swirl the first lines that I did. Okay, keeping it quite controlled, nice and smooth all the way around. Okay, and then my V's, I'm going to work them up about halfway up the image there, up that little diamond shape. Try not to cover the whole thing. To that one. Making that shape. It doesn't take much, does it, when you sort of shade? It's almost like you're holding off because you really want to do it and see how it looks, but then there's not that much to it. It's just tiny little gestures. Softening off little bits. You see, I'm trying to keep the highlight in the middle. I don't want to touch that too much. Looks like I might have to bring my white pencil in those. I wasn't sure if I was going to, and of course, depending on the tile you're using, you might not need it. You see, very, very little gestures there, just sort of softening off those edges. It's almost like the pencil and the pens together has worked, done its own thing. So coming to this one then, I want to swirl it, but I don't want it to go too far. So keep it contained. All right, you don't want to be going in the middle of the shape. Softening those edges. Okay, going over whatever's there. You don't need to worry about that. But going around it. Okay. Following it round. Keep it going. And same this way. You don't have to go in the opposite direction for it. I think it's just something I do. I've gone one way, I'm going the other now. You see how, again, I'm just trying to keep it clear of the middle because we've got that little highlight then running through it. Working it round, bit by bit. Taking my time. Almost there. To that bit. And then of course the leaves, just very gently soften little bits off. And I'm trying again not to fill the whole shape. Just want to do parts of it. I'm not even going to worry about the stems. Just little bits. And softening them off as we go. Turn it around. So of course if you've got loads of leaves, you're going to be there for a while doing this. And everyone needs a little bit of treatment. Let's see. So let's have a look at that. Okay, I think that needs a little bit more. Okay, and I am going to bring my white chalk pencil in. Purely because, well, I wasn't going to use it, but I think because it'll benefit from going around. So I'm just going back and forth around the centre here. So again, not particularly pressing on, just doing a few layers and getting that little shape. And now I'm not going to blend this. So you want to try and keep it more line than sketch if you can. And maybe just a touch on those points. Okay, only if you've got space. And of course it depends on your tile, if you've got any bits and pieces in there. Okay, I think what we can do, there's just one more little bit of shading. I'm going to put some, just lightly, see, move my hand further up. Lightly around the edge, so it's not as much as we've got in the middle, just a light touch all the way around. Keep it close to, you don't want to overdo it. So not worrying about the leaves behind or anything like that. And then let's go back in, look. 1 second, see? And Tortillon again, a bit further out this time because we want to soften it a little bit and almost sort of fade it to nothing. So straight over everything that's already there. And you see I'm working it out into the rest of the piece. So it just sort of disappears into it. So don't go too dark with it, it's quite light. But it's just giving it a little bit of background. Okay. And there. You see I'm working quite sort of wide. And there. Letting it move wherever it wants to. Just working it out and around, you see. And into there. And along here. Just sort of letting it disappear in the background. Okay. So one more thing, a regular pen. In the centre bit here, let's go in a little bit. I'm going to come back around those bubbles, but just sort of in half of it. I don't want to go around the whole thing. You see, just half of it. Just going to sort of touch on the edge there, just where the pen was already. And then on the inside here, again, follow that shape. See, I don't want to be going on the pencil. I'm just going to go on where the pen originally was. Let's have a little look at that. Well, that's made a bit of a difference in the middle there, see? So, signature. There you go. 412. Already done, sorted. So, yeah, look forward to seeing what you're going to do with this one. Are you going to go a bit bigger? You're going to change colours? You're going to go just black and white? Post some pictures and let's have a look at it. Of course, all being well, I will see you back here for 413 on Friday at 2 o'clock. So have a bit of fun with it, enjoy and take care, and I'll see you soon.